My dear collective, welcome to another music channeling. Ooh. Sorry. Alright, so long story short, the go-to song is let's see. Good Enough. Okay, so I have done a past reading. I will link that in the video down below. However you see it, it will be linked. Okay. I got this song on the 23rd of August, but also the 23rd of October as well as November is relevant. Then let me write that down. Okay, and Aquarius could be relevant in terms of zodiac sign. Let's dive into it. So why is 23rd of August relevant for the viewer that's watching this reading? So we got authority figures. Okay, so there was somebody that wanted to misuse their power. Okay, I don't know if it was this person, if there were people in your person's life that were trying to fuck things up between you and them. Okay, why is 23rd of August relevant for the viewer in terms of this person? Okay, so there was some sort of message that was supposed to be sent. It was never sent. Okay, somebody had something to say, and this is why things got messed up. Okay, something was lost in translation. That's why 23rd of October, I guess, and 23rd of right now is relevant. You guys were supposed to have some sort of communication, union, or foundation, and yeah, something was lost in communication because of an authority figure in your life, in your person's life, or there was, yeah, pretty much, okay? So there was a lot of gossip. A lot of people had a lot to say. Okay. 23rd of October. Let's pull a card. So there was definitely some hardships during this time. I don't know if this is foreshadowing or this is past related, but there was definitely some struggles on 23rd of October. Okay. Something about the feminine. Okay. Somebody was struggling when it comes to you if you're a female, or a female was struggling when it comes to this connection. Okay. Or you could have been the one that struggled in relation to this person, okay? In relation to this love. Something about 23rd of October that there was too much shit happened, okay? 23rd of November. Why is that relevant? We got the harvest card. So basically somebody should have reaped what they sown. Okay, I'm tuning into that karma came through. Somebody will sort of stand up, be loyal. They were not. Somebody was playing games. Somebody was going through an unexpected shift. Okay, I thought you were my home. I thought you were there for me. I thought you were loyal. I thought that you loved me, and I come to find out that you were my biggest hater, or my biggest op. Okay, I feel like there was there was some sort of miscommunications. Feelings, emotions were heightened. Okay. About this stability, about this foundation. Somebody didn't know how to see one's perspective, difficulty of seeing eye to eye when it comes to situations, or an outcome. Okay. All right. Let's pull one card for an Aquarius very quickly. Something about a Gemini. So it could be Aquarius Gemini situation. Okay. Aquarius Gemini, you are free. They want you to be free to love them, free to be yourself, things of that nature. Okay. Okay, anything else for the collective that's watching this reading? So we got this one here in reverse. Somebody feels like a bad luck is following them. Somebody feels like everything they believe in, touch, goes to shit. Somebody feels like there's too much immaturity at play when it comes to you and them. Somebody could also have children as well, and that could also be a stressor for somebody's child, or maybe somebody's childhood is stressful for somebody. Okay, they feel like something feels like purgatory, like hell. Is either their childhood, the fact that somebody has children, the fact that somebody wants children, somebody doesn't want children, or somebody's mental state in terms of awareness. Okay, however, somebody do still want love. Despite all of this, they still want love. They still want to have their heart open to you. Okay, but they're having a difficult time finding balance. Okay, for some reason their money is also affected. Okay, like I said before, somebody feels like ever since whatever came up in terms of childhood trauma, children, when you guys were younger, it affected their money. I feel like somebody fucked up the bag. Maybe you guys were supposed to have a child, or they were supposed to wait. I'm getting different scenarios. This is examples right now, but like, let's say you broke up, you come back together, your person now has a kid, or you have a kid, and that is now a stressor. Maybe they didn't think it would be a stressor, but it is. But they still love you. You still love them, but the kid in the mix is a stressor for some reason. As an example, the other thing could be whatever happened in the past when you guys were younger. Somebody's not letting that go. That shit is a stressor. Having a grudge. Past childhood trauma. Something happened in your childhood, in your person's childhood. They cannot let that go because they don't know how to heal because it's so much. There is some sort of stressor in relation to children, childhood, the past, when it comes to you and your person, or this person, okay? Because I'm not quite sure if they're yours yet. Now, we got this one here. There could have been some sort of manipulation, snakeness happening as well, and they don't know what to do. They feel like if that didn't happen, things could have been blossoming in a better ways, okay? I feel like somebody wanted to take somebody out. I don't know. I would say this though, to just make this less of a dark, dimmer of a reading. The song is pretty positive, okay? It talks about pleasing one another sexually, pleasing one's partner, and having a good time, okay? Making sure that, you know, you guys are on the same path sexually. I know it's an odd thing to say based on the cards that are coming out and the energy I'm feeling, but to make it more logical, you and this person are sexually compatible back then, right now, and so forth. So as an example, whether you guys have children separately, I would say this though, it would be kind of great if you guys have children together, but I feel like it's more so where it's like you just have a great sexual history with this person, or you will, but it's in the sense of like, if somebody has trauma or somebody has children, it is some sort of obstacle or blockage in some way or form. I don't know how, okay? We can even go in this sense of direction between you guys where it's like one person want to have a child, like, let me get you pregnant, and you are like, I'd rather not. I don't want to have kids, okay? I'm not here to have kids, and that could stem from trauma as well. Disclaimer, I know not everybody wants to have children or get married. I know in this day and age, or just in general, how things are moving on this planet, the ideal norm of having that picture perfect-esque of a family, it's not for everybody, okay? I'm not gonna sit here like the goal, the dream for every human, every 7 billion people on here wants to have a family unit in terms of children or even marriage, okay? But again, as an example, I say this to say one person could have been like, I want to have children, let me get you pregnant. Another person like, they don't want to be a father or a mother, okay? It might even be harder for your person, let's say you're feminine, say that you never really see yourself being a mother. And that's just that. And that person's could be like, it's because of what happened in the past and the trauma. It could be. But you could actually be like, no, you never really saw yourself having children. At best, you're like, you want to be a pet mom or a pet dad, okay? That could also be the blockages and the obstacles here. So again, something about the number 13 and the child card that you guys saw that is very relevant for a lot of you guys, okay? Because you do have a strong chemistry, passion, but it's kind of like if you take that out of the equation of building something, because your person do want to build something with you, and I feel like you want to build something with them, but somehow something became the obstacle. I want to give an example as well. This feels very twin flame coded, but like I don't know their names, but when I was really deep into the twin flame universe of it all, within the spiritual community, you know, I'd be watching readings too, and this was before I was doing this. I'm talking about years ago, when twin flames wasn't even a thing, because it seems to be a fad right now. There was one conversationalist, okay? Her name is Simone. She's African American, and I think, well, she's African American. Her twin flame is from Argentina or Uruguay, right? They're from and he came to America to study, right? He was an exchange student, and you know, they vibed and everything. And they knew instantly that they were twin flames. They went through twin flame shit, okay? I say this to say that I remember saying that the reason why they broke up, and I think they documented this, but the reason why they broke up because this man wanted to have children, and the feminine, the divine feminine, she didn't want to have, she never saw herself having children, and she was fully content with not being a mother. Now, people wanted to figure out why, wanted to know the details, and was blaming this on the third, but she also said that her family dynamic was kind of chaotic, so for her to bring up another child in this world, it was not ideal for her, okay? It was not ideal for her in terms of the journey she was on, what she wanted to do, but also it stemmed from her upbringing, okay? That was the reason why they broke up. And as soon as that happened, this man, her divine masculine, he was so heartbroken, because that was his dream, that was his vision in terms of the twin flame. Because at the end of the day, we'll all have visions of how we want our life to be, and I do feel like it manifests quicker when you're with your twin flame. And when your twin flame is not on board with what you're on, it's devastating. This man, he got somebody else pregnant. He felt horrible. Mind you, it was his dream to be a father. That was his entire, like, you know how people be like, I want to travel here, and he was always like, I want a family. He always talked about it in his channel, and you can see, and she was there very much like, not even, she was open to adopting, having pets, all of that. But that was not his ideal. Like, it didn't satisfy him, okay? He got somebody else pregnant. He felt horrible. He actually came back to her and said this. And she was very sad, you know? But their dynamic is so unique because she said that she saw that child as her own because it was a part of her twin flame, her divine masculine. to this very day, if you were to see them together at this point, and it's so wrong because it gives very much like he wasn't regret not of the child because that's what he wanted, but the fact it wasn't hers, the divine feminine. And I remember watching them, and she went out to get herself a soulmate because at the end of the day, when you're twin flames, you stick to each other like glue. You can see the dynamic, and that was like when I first learned about polyamory and all that stuff, and they all like still together. She even called herself like a sister wife and a stepmom to the child, not because they're together, because the essence of the twin flame, it's so potent. When you're with somebody that radiates like certain glow about you, a certain aura. But the thing is, we do have free will, and this divine masculine needed to get with the program, right? And she loves her soulmates, just like the masculine loves. I would say this: the masculine cares for the mother of his child, but it's different when you're with your twin flame. I feel like it's that type of dynamic for some of you guys when it comes to this specific reading. That's why I'm giving the analogy. But it's very much like they made it work. So I say this to say, if you have a child or vice versa, they do. Obviously, their story is not your story, but I feel like something of this is irrelevant. Okay? Where like you think it's an obstacle, but it's not. Okay? Now, it'll probably be more easier if it's like a twin flame. I don't know, but I don't even know how to break it down though. Now, she later admitted that she wasn't fit to be a mother, and she said that the divine feminine said that it wouldn't be fair to her to bring in a child she doesn't want, but she does love her divine masculine's child as her own. You know? And it's the type of relationship you could see where it's like the love between them, it never changed. Him having a child, even like going in and growing and so on, and like you how do I say this? I feel like I'm speaking so much, but I feel like that's somebody's like that would be relevant for somebody. Okay, we got baby. So hey, I feel like I'm off track. Whoever's watching this reading, let's do an advice card. Whatever obstacle you think it is, and even if it's a child, you guys can make it work. Because there's like very strong love between you guys. Now, based on the song, it is very much giving I will please you until you get satisfied. So it's not giving love like that, but it feels like pleasing one's lover, one's partner. Okay, but we got this one here, so I guess see each other with love, and this is supposed to be part of your destiny. So whatever comes may, if there is still love between you guys, if you're still aligned, you're supposed to do this together, just like that twin flame analogy. You get me? Okay. So yeah, I really hope I'm making sense, because I'm not quite sure if I am. Notice the signs, okay? For some of you guys, you could be from a different country than your person, or your twin flame is, or your soulmate is. Make it make sense, okay? So I think that's it. But yeah, there's definitely gonna be hurt, but there's also gonna be healing. I don't know if you guys are gonna be as open as the examples that I just mentioned, but I do sense the love, okay? It makes me think about the song by Alicia Keys, Unthinkable. You know, don't do the unthinkable. And the unthinkable is with you. Or the unthinkable is outside of the dynamic of this. And it took place, and it's like, wow, you know? I feel like somebody is a little bit slow as well. Like maybe they were slow to catch on to something or understand. Or, yeah, something, yeah. I don't know. I feel like somebody could also be a bit abrasive or a bit cruel. Okay? In their manner. I don't know if there's gonna be like a cat fight. An argument. Okay, so something about rent could be relevant. Something about coriander could be relevant. But something has an X involved. Something about being organic. Okay, something about being on bed all day, bed rest. Something about number 10. Something about debit. Something about California. LA, okay? Something about you being Barbie and they're being Ken. Look at this. I feel like divine feminines, they are Barbie. Everything evolves around the divine feminine. Why? Because the divine feminine births life. There would be nothing if there is no divine feminine. The thing is this. Biologically and humanly, like men cannot survive without females. Okay? But females can survive without men. And I feel like this is why the analogy I mentioned with the divine feminine, not wanting to have a child and still be able to be herself no matter what the obstacle takes place, because she knows she will be good. When a divine feminine, their heart breaks, they'll find somebody else and they will restart this cycle. That is human, that is inserted into the feminine. Hence the giving birth. Hence why it's an example now, an analogy. Suffering suffering 9 months to give or take, to give birth to a child. The feminine knows how to endure pain for a long time. Right? You've seen the videos when men try on like stimulators when it comes to menstruation, the menstruation cycle, giving birth, so on. They feel like it's insane, right? So I'm feeling very feministic today. I really am. Man, if you're watching, if you want things to work out with your females, do right by them, because I do feel like in the long run, men on an emotional level, they suffer. Maybe not instantly. They have a harder time letting things go. That's why a lot of people are like, and this, I'm a bit iffy about this saying it right now, but like, you know how a lot of people be, well, not a lot, but there are some people, they're like, let me give an actual source. So Jessie Ray, she made, I think she's like Colombian American or Colombian. She made a song. She said that I'm the type of woman where you're gonna look for in anyone and everyone while you're gonna be home with your wife and your kids. But when things doesn't go right, or even when things are right, you still gonna look for me. Meaning, men always look for what they cannot have. Especially if their ego is bruised. Especially if it's like the person that got away. And I feel like that's why people cheat. Because they're complacent. A lot of people don't know what love is, but I do feel like a lot of men, they have a hard time perceiving, living, accepting love. And it's usually in the sense of like, wanting something they can't have for the sake of wanting it. You know? It's kind of odd though, because as logical as the male species are, they claim to be, right? They're very much like, you know, masculine, feminine. You get it, right? Just like how they know to make a decision, as people say, to pick their favorite car, to tell somebody if they like them or not. In terms of friends, bros, if they like something, they will speak up. But when it comes to female, their language, their linguistic, it changes. Why does it change when you speak to a man versus a feminine? Especially when it comes to decision. Obviously, a masculine person doesn't want to be wrong in the eyes of a feminine, because that might seem or be deemed as being weak. And a masculine energy doesn't want to be perceived as weak. Okay? Maybe that's why they're wishy-washy and confused. But people are not confused. I think the issue here is that they have a hard time realizing what love actually is. It goes both ways. But that's why the saying goes that it takes much longer for a man to get over, or masculine energy to get over a breakup than a feminine. It might hit them hard the both time, but think about it, people. And this is not a jab against the male gender, but like, think about it. A feminine could be broken up with and things, find somebody new. But a masculine, even if they are finding somebody else, freaking married on their deathbed, they could still be asking for Lisa, Deborah, Janet from 10, 20 years ago. There are stories like this. It was like an 80-year-old masculine could be on their deathbed, and they'd be like, I need you to call up Annette, Andrina, Charlotte, Amanda, Samantha, Nina, from when I was a teenager, from when I was in my 20s, from when I was in my 30s. Because it was their dying wish. I don't know why I'm on this today. Listen, I don't know if it's the coffee or the matcha. Listen, I don't know. But I don't think the past reading is as intricate or deep as this one. Somebody could also be from Kiev, okay? Something about the debris could be relevant. Something about a footnote. Something about Swedish currency. Something about a deer. Could also be relevant. I do have like a spirit animal deck, so let me see if we can find a deer. Oh, that's an antelope. Hold up. Oh, there we go. We got a deer. Okay, so bring a gentle touch. So I feel like you need to be gentle with yourself. They need to be gentle with you and themselves as well, because no matter the outcome, if the love is there, it's there. I know this is a whole TED Talk right now. I'm so sorry. It's far away from the actual song. It's far away from the actual message. But I feel like this is the type of reading where there are obstacles where it's going to be hard to change. If you are not with this person, I'm going to tell you this, on their deathbed, they're going to be asking for you. Especially if you're female watching. It's going to be like what they see when they transition to the other side. They're going to be thinking about the times they have with you. That's the type of connection you have with this person. Whether you're together or not. It's either going to be that, or it's going to be like the twin flames I mentioned, where you're going to be with somebody else. They're going to have a kid with somebody else, and you guys are going to be like a blended family. You know? But let's do a card from the Romance Angel. For a lot of you guys, you're the one for your person, whether you're together or not. And I feel like that's always going to be the energy. So be gentle with yourself, with this person. I'm going to say this. Together or apart, you're always going to be the one for them. And that is the message, okay? Now, see if there's any specific timelines. If there are no numbers, we're gonna let it go. Okay, so we got number 9. Think hours, days, weeks, months. Okay, on the 17th is also relevant. There's gonna be some sort of message, okay, in relation to this soulmate. So this could be twin flame, so you get it, okay? That's everything. Thank you for watching this long ass reading, and good luck in your journey in life, and yeah, take care of one another. Much love.